right. Hello, everyone. I am on the phone with Adam Newell, director of the film Video Stop. This is a film that was made in Indianapolis, and it's going to be coming up at the Indianapolis, the Indie Film Fest, I should say. And that's going to be playing on Monday, July 23rd at 7 and Thursday, July 26th at 5:15. Both of those will be at the Indianapolis Museum of Art. So, Adam, thanks for joining us.
Hello, Andy. Glad to be here.
So, we are going to be, let's talk about this film. I have not had a chance to see this. I did get to watch the trailer, and I thought the trailer was really, really funny. So tell me about this film. What's happening in this movie?
All right, well, I've been making movies since 2006, and a good friend of mine, Nathan Boyer, came up to me at a party in 2008, I believe, and he said he always wanted to make a movie about his experiences at a video store. So I said, all right, write down 30 funny things that happened to you at the video store, and we'll see if we can get some stuff going. And the next day, he wrote those down, and the very first thing he wrote ended up being the first scene in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Just a lot of funny stuff. And with him and his best friend, Sean McDonald, who run camera, and a good friend of mine, Mike Akers, who did the music in the movie, we all sat together for about a year and a half, and we came up with this script.
Cool. So how do you construct, a movie out of that? Because, you have like a lot of ideas, but how do you sort of get a story out of that?
Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of people always sit around and be like, oh, that'd be a great movie. The difference is I've been writing screenplays since I was 17. I'm 30 years old now, so that's 13 years. So I know how to write stories and take an idea and flesh it out through a 107-page screenplay, which this was. And then the reason I know how to make a movie is because my first 10 screenplays didn't do anything. My older sister worked in Hollywood, and I kept trying to sneak these in backdoor, my screenplays, and no one wanted them. No one would even read them. So after the 10th one, I said, all right, I'm just going to make my own movie.
Yeah.
And I made it. It was called Toe, and it did, fairly well. I won a couple film festivals. I got some funding for Video Stop because of that, and that's how we got here today.
Excellent. So what was the experience like of, shooting the first movie, Toe, versus shooting your second movie? Is there a big gap in sort of what you had access to and sort of what you were able to accomplish?
Oh, absolutely. The first movie was a shoestring budget. We did it for like $4,000, less than that. Just paying for food and just kind of, asking for a lot of favors. For this one, we had about $18,000. So we really upped the production value. I mean, we rented commercial properties to build the video store. It was completely different and just a little bit bigger. And that's what we're trying to do is really parlay each movie into something bigger.
Sure. So you did shoot this whole thing in Indianapolis. Are you from Indianapolis? Do you live in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I went to Center Grove, South Saturn.
Okay.
A handful of the actors are from Center Grove. Nathan Boyer, he's from Center Grove. And we have a couple of friends of mine from Terre Haute that came over who currently live in Indianapolis. Emily Wood, my producer, she was my lead actress in Toe, and she was so dedicated and hardworking that I was like, you want to help me produce this? I know you're going to work hard and, give me some top quality work, and she did.
Excellent. The thing I noticed most about the trailer, besides just the fact that it was really funny, was the music. And you mentioned you had someone doing the music. Is the trailer an accurate representation of the music in the film, or is it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, that's one of the things that kind of sets Grobust production movies apart. Is Mike Akers. He's insanely talented, a savant. He records all these songs in his bedroom. We probably used 20 of his songs, and he sings and he writes music, plays every instrument, records it on an 8-track player, not even a computer. And it's just really limitless what he can do. And then we also had some local bands contribute a couple songs, like Neon Love Life, their song before they broke up. They gave us that song in there at the end of the trailer. And then a couple hip-hop songs from Humvee.
Okay.
Who's a local guy. It's pretty good.
Very cool. So just tell me, just give me like a plot summary. What are people going to expect when they walk into this film?
It's a coming-of-age Midwestern comedy where the lead character, Nathan Boyer, we're in the movie. It's R.J. McReady. He's kind of, just fumbling through life, lost. He's lacking a vocation. He's really searching for more out of life. And I revolve a lot of funny characters around him. And then ultimately he runs into an old girlfriend he used to date in college. And she kind of pulls him out of this, depressing vicious cycle he stays in. and he finds out he wants to go back to writing, and he actually gets starts to work at Nouveau and stuff.
Okay. And Nouveau's a local film or local sort of arts magazine in Indy, correct?
Yeah, they're like the Red Eye in Chicago. It's a
Okay.
great local paper, and we presented them with the project last summer, and the editor's all about it. Turned out he was a playwright himself.
Oh, cool.
So he was actually in the movie, so we got a lot of backing from some great local people like Nouveau and Magic Bus and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, so how else is this sort of film connected to Indianapolis? So it sounds like it's very specifically Indianapolis. Was that important to you, or was that just how it came about?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Indianapolis. I mean, that's one of the reasons I never felt obligated to really move out to LA and try to make it. I was like, if you're talented enough, you can do it here. There's no reason, you have to, go to some, different city to accomplish your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially with the way technology is right now. So
Yeah.
I really wanted to showcase that. I'm proud of the city. I think it's, one of the best cities in the world.
Cool. So, so hearing the description of the film, there's a lot of films out there that are sort of workplace comedies, and a lot of them that are about coming of age. So how do you make your film stand out? How do you make a film that makes people say, oh, that's different from this because of this thing?
Right. Well, a lot of those movies, they just don't have the writing background that I do. After you've written 10 screenplays, it's just like when you're writing songs, you start off and it's just a very basic song. You're just like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, verse, very basic. But after you do it for a while, you really get good at just interweaving lots of different storylines, and that's what we have here. We have the basic storyline with RJ, and then there's every other character has their own storyline. They're not just coming in with one-liners. Like they're on their own little missions. And I tried to create very vivid, very funny people, and I think that really sets it apart because it doesn't slow down the whole. It keeps moving the whole time, and keeps your interest, keeps you laughing.
Very cool. So making a movie in Indianapolis is not the same as making a movie in LA. So you don't necessarily have access to, the experience and skill level that you're going to find out there. So how did you fill out your crew, and sort of, did you have to work hard to train people, or was everyone sort of have their own skill set?
Fortunately, I just had a lot of different friends that had specific skill sets. Like our camera operator was Nathan Boy, who was roommate in college, and he had experience doing that. Before his most recent job where he's a graphic designer. Emily Wood, she was our producer. She can do everything from lighting to sound to, designing our website. And then just calling on some other friends to help with, the tedious work, like keeping log sheets and using the clapboard and doing boom operating. I would run sound while I'm directing and then have a buddy hold a boom pole. Mm-hmm. It's very important stuff like the camera and the audio and the lighting. I would have me, Emily, and Sean do, but the rest of the stuff we could easily kind of ask friends to help out.
So what did you shoot on? I'm assuming digital.
Yeah, I mean everything's really changed in the last year. We shot on a Panasonic GH2 DSLR camera, and that probably doesn't mean anything to anybody unless you're into video production. But what that means to me, and the picture quality that I can get, is the type of that camera cost $1,000, and we were really learning how to use it. We took a seminar, me and Sean, just so we knew how to use that camera for the shoot. And it's the picture value that you get from that is the equivalent of a camera 5 years ago that would cost $70,000.
Yeah,
and it only costs $1,000 today. So the trick is knowing how to use it. Then you have a very, very small depth of field if you're going to shoot high quality with a nice lens. So just getting Sean, making sure we were in focus was really the only hard part.
Yeah. So what about your actors? So your actors, again, I only saw the trailer, but it seemed like these guys were pretty good, and that there was a lot of humor. They were selling the jokes really well. Right. So how did you fill out your cast? Yeah,
one of the things I really, that it's what I really dislike about, some independent films is bad acting. It takes you right out of it. No matter how good it looks, no matter how good the story is, if the acting's bad, it's just like, oh, you're sitting there wanting to pull your hair out, like, oh man, this is lame. So I really wanted to get people that were natural. I knew a few people I could rely on, like the lead character Nathan. This is his third movie, so I've seen his work, and he's great. He was the lead. And then the other characters I believed in, and I knew they were funny. I grew up with a couple of them, and I was like, if I could just get them to be themselves in front of the camera, it'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And I did that. I got with Andy Murata, who got a shout out from Nouveau, and he's never acted before, and they were like, wow, they were really blown away with what he did. He was so natural and funny. I just rehearsed for 2 months with these guys every week. We just dug in and just really plowed through it and just went through every scene. And it's like, okay, you guys have done this. So when we go live, don't clam up, don't hold back. And everybody showed up. It doesn't hurt to have, beer on set.
Okay. Okay.
We have a good time. So,
Yeah.
having a couple beers here and there really loosens people up. Doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in a film. It's kind of like, oh, we're just hanging out. We're having fun. And the camera's rolling.
Yeah.
And once you put people at ease, that's what I kind of do as a director. I don't sit there and, try to dominate or control the whole situation. I just try to make everybody comfortable.
Yeah.
And when everybody's comfortable, that you really get some really genuine and just authentic performances.
Excellent. So, looking at the trailer, you have the video rental location. That's sort of your main set, but you also have a lot of other sets. It looks like where people are going out into the world.
Yeah.
How did you do location scouting, and how did you sort of? I'm assuming you had to convince some local businesses to kind of give up their space for a period of time.
Yeah, I mean, you really do. Whenever you're shooting a bar, you're shooting when it's closed. You're turning off all the refrigerator units. When you're shooting at stores, you're shooting before they open, so you don't have people walking in and out of the door. Thankfully, with my first movie, Toe, I had a handful of those connections. And then the rest of it is just showing up at these places of business, and a month before you shoot, talking to the owners and just going, hey, do you mind if we come in here and shoot a movie? And in LA, if you shoot in LA, they'll go, okay, we want, $5,000.
Yeah.
And you have to pay them. And Indiana is like, oh, that's cool. Absolutely. Come on in. And then before you know it, you're like at Locals Only, hanging out with the owner Dave, and he's serving everyone free drinks, and you're just having a blast.
Yeah.
And he's like, and now we have a friend for life. Dave, he's let me shoot a couple music videos there since then. And downtown Loftmiller's another place that really just opened their doors, cooking food for us. And that's one thing about Indianapolis. Everyone is always, helpful. They want to help, and they want to be part of something that they think's fun and cool.
Very cool. So let's talk about the actual video store set. You said you rented some properties. I'm assuming that's one of them. How did you go about? Did you find like a closed video store, or did you have to sort of build that?
Yeah, that was the hardest thing to get. It was that commercial space, because usually they want commercial renter's insurance, which can be $1,500, and they want a lot of just other stuff, a lot of money too. We looked into renting like a little Blockbuster, and they were talking like $4,000 a month for a rental, and it was just sitting there open. And we're like, what? So finally, we found this realtor here in Broad Ripple that kind of does some backdoor stuff. We're like, they rent some spaces out to like fireworks stores and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't have anything here, but we have some places in Frankfort, Indiana, if you want to go up there and check it out. And they're like, they had 4 locations, and this is like 2 weeks before we're filming, and everything has fallen through at this point. I'm like, wow, if I can't lock down a location, we're really going to be scratching our head. Like, what do we do? We're going to have to push this off to next summer. I get up there, and out of the 4 locations, 2 of them don't even have drywall on the walls. Like, oh no. The third one was like a closet. I was like, well, maybe I can work. And then it was like, I get to the 4th one, and it's like, Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. Finally, there's a perfect fit. It was an empty movie gallery.
Oh, okay.
So it had the checkerboard floor on the ground around the checkout place, and it was completely empty. It was great. So we just went to Lowe's, rented or bought about $70 worth of just material, made shelves, and then there was a Borders that went out of business. So we just threw a bunch of their racks in the back of a truck and just threw those in there.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what I love about sort of indie film. It's sort of like, we've got to get this done. How do we do it? Let's get it done. Let's figure it out. We don't have all the resources, so let's do it.
Oh, absolutely. You can't get hung up on a pitfall. You just got to think every inconvenience is a chance to be more creative, and that's how you have to tackle it.
Yeah. So after the Indie Film Fest, where does this film go? Have you been to other film festivals before this with this film, or are you going to others after this?
We've gotten honored. This is the first screening we're going to have. We got honored by the Las Vegas Film Fest as the official finalist award winner. They're not going to show our movie, but they thought we were good enough to give us the honor. They only shown 11 movies out there. One of them stars Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall.
Cool.
So that's set the bar high. The fact that they even gave us a shout out was like, wow. And we don't even know anybody, in Las Vegas. So that really was eye opening. We got into Gen Con in Indy next month, so there's going to be another screening downtown. We're excited about that. And as of now, I have about a dozen entries waiting to hear back from Chicago International, Louisville International, Big ones. The big ones are going to be South by Southwest for us and Slam Dance, which is the younger brother to Sundance.
Mm.
And to get into those, you have to have a good resume. And it's so key that we got into Indie International Film Festival because it really builds our resume for the bigger ones. We're not, not exactly bigger ones, but ones that you can really sell your movie at, where there's someone in acquisitions from a studio that can see this and go, wow, we want to give these guys distribution, or we want to bring these guys in for their next project. We want to get behind them.
Yeah. So I mean, that is the ultimate goal to get this out there into a distribution channel, essentially.
Absolutely, we got to make some money off this. I mean, we're tapped out.
Yeah.
If we don't, then we just enjoy the ride that we went on, and we kind of just maybe trying to piece something together in a year or so. But it would be nice if we could get some distribution, really get some national marketing, get the videos into some stores and sell a lot of copies so we can make some cash to make the next one.
Excellent. Well, Adam, it's great talking to you, and I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to see this film. Again, for those listening, you can see this film on Monday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. and Thursday, July 26th at 5:15 p.m. Those are both going to be at the Indianapolis Museum of the Art at the Indy Film Fest. And it sounds like if you're going to be at Gen Con, you'll have a chance to see it up there as well.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
Yeah, thank you very
Just
much.
give me your address, and I'll send you a copy of the film.
Oh, excellent. I would appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you very much, Adam. A Place for Film is recorded at WFIU Studios in Bloomington, Indiana.